I was a college student, and it happened that David had the course of digital marketing in my university, and he was looking for an intern. Yeah, and he liked my project, my digital marketing project, and so he sent me an email. Do you want to join us as an intern? I didn't understand a thing about what I'm going to do, or I didn't know nothing about the startup community, nothing about investors. So I was in a management program, but what you learn in university and what is happening in reality is very different. And anyway, I was very excited. I started as a marketing assistant, and the startup community and ecosystem caught me very soon. Yeah, and David was my mentor, and he had a lot of patience with me to explain me what an angel investor is and everything. Yeah, so this is my start.
Mine is a bit longer, but I'll keep it short. I also graduated in a business university in Oradea. Then because I couldn't find any employer that would take me into his team, I had to create a job for myself. So I became an entrepreneur. I founded, I think, three companies, and in like 5 years. Some failed, some kind of worked, some worked pretty well and are still working. And after like 5 years, I started working from another association in Oradea Tech Hub, that had a co-working place where I started going regularly, and they were looking to hire someone to manage their initiatives. So I've been the executive director for the Tech Hub like 2 years and a half. There I also had an intern and Naomi that started to take more and more responsibilities. And at one point, around 3 years ago, the municipality started the discussion with the private sector to initiate Make IT in Oradea, and that's where I started jumping into the startup community. It was the perfect like fit for me. My passion was also for entrepreneurship, education, and technology. So basically, what am I doing right now is combining all three of them. That was also my dream with the previous, at least the last startup I founded. It was a marketing agency, but we were looking to create actually a startup studio and to build on the foundation of what we learned from other clients, our projects, and have our own businesses in different verticals or different businesses in the same vertical. But the plan didn't work as I hoped. The market was pretty tough. I knew very few about how to build something like this. And when I saw the opportunity first of managing the tech ecosystem in general in Oradea, I said, okay, that will help me learn a lot and connect with a lot of relevant people. So I postponed the other project, and when I saw Make IT in Oradea, I said, okay, that's the one. It's not like what I dreamed of exactly, but it's pretty similar. And actually, I think it's what we needed also in the ecosystem at that point. I was infected by this virus very early. I mean, very early meaning I think it was first year of college or second year of college. We had a professor, like guest professor, coming to our university, our faculty, and he was not like the usual suspects. He was just coming and sharing stories, and he shared stories about people building startups. The focus of the faculty, yes, it was a management program, but they focused very much on entrepreneurship. And it was, I mean, before that, my dream was to become a famous banker, kind of working for, I don't know, World Bank or something like that. Uh, but when he started to share the stories and um, all the amazing things people were building through startups, I was like infected with this virus, and since then, yeah, it was done deal for me. Nothing. I would never do something different in my life.
So my parents, they have both of them. They are very entrepreneurial, and they kind of wanted that for me, but didn't push it. As David said, the program is very
Entrepreneurial.
entrepreneurial oriented, but somehow I dropped the idea of uh, founding a business. In university, I wanted to go on the marketing side.
We went on the same university and we had
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
program.
But
So
I did 1.5 years, so half of my program was online because the pandemic came and I was doing it from home. Yeah, so we are empowering makers to become founders, and how we do it is through education, to startup program education, actually, an incubator program called Bright Labs Incubator, dedicated to first-time founders that are eager to build a tech product, and from the entire SE region.
yeah, beside what Rebecca already said, like the behind the scenes mission is to transform Oradea into a destination for tech founders. That is the goal. It's for many, at least at the beginning, was like mission impossible, and I have this I don't know, bad trait, or this thing called naivety. So I'm pretty naive when it comes to big dreams, and that helps, but can also be a bit dangerous. That's why I try to get people around me that are maybe a bit more with the foot on the ground, and also keep me there. But yeah, this is the mission of Make IT in Oradea. It's not basically not the mission of Make IT in Oradea, it's the mission of Oradea as a city, and Make IT in Oradea is the vehicle. When it comes to Make IT in Oradea, what we would like Make IT Oradea to become is a role model for other municipalities in our country, region, or maybe even all over the world. The role should be to trust both the startups, but also the founders, but also the ecosystem builders. I mean, here is a kind of a double-sided game, or playing on two tables at the same time, because you also have to work with the founders and the startup community builders, which preferably, and the best case scenario is to also be founders or ex-founders, or have an entrepreneurial experience. And what and also from our experience, this is the most important thing, to trust them. I mean, this is a very big problem we have right now. I mean, this distrust from the entrepreneurial to the public sector and vice versa. It's At the end of the day, it's the founder's game. I mean, they should do it and they should manage it. You as a municipality should support it, and that's it. And that's what we also found in Oradea, and that was very healthy for us. I mean, I was just joking. I don't know if this is recommended to be on a tape, but anyway, I will say it. I mean, I was talking with a friend. If Oradea would have, and the municipality wouldn't have established an NGO to run this, and it would have become, I don't know, a department of the municipality, we couldn't pay like 90% of the bills we already paid with the NGO because all the bureaucracy and everything is no go. So that's why you need to trust the entrepreneurs. And yeah, found those that you trust that also already have experience, already have kind of success, even, but also the failures are important. And then support them. Have some KPIs that you track. Don't micro control them, and have a continuous discussion there between both of the parties, because that's super important to keep the dialogue on, but not for the purpose of like controlling each other, but like making sure you are on the same page kind of all of the time. So those are the major points I would emphasize from our experience. The collaboration is super nice. I mean, uh, we want to keep them in the loop. Uh, they are not micro controlling us at like not at all. Um, and what we are, I mean, they are also part of the board of Make IT in Oradea's NGO. They supervise. We have quarterly reports and meetings, and whenever we have an idea or whenever we want to initiate something, we start a discussion. We pitch our initiative, and if we can sell it well, we have their cooperation. I mean, that's again something I see. And sorry for if I'm going a bit away from the question, but this is again something I see very much in our ecosystems. Is people are crying that they don't have the support of the municipality, they don't have the support of partners, corporates, VCs, whatever. If you know how to sell it well, I think you can buy and you can win their cooperation. Yeah, I know that we are privileged to have a very ear opened municipality, but you can do it in other cities also, especially now that you already have some precedents. Oh yeah, I think it's on. It's vice versa also. We learn a lot. I learned a lot from, for example, from my colleague Alina, who's the president of the NGO and also the executive director of the development agency of Oradea. So when it comes to founders learning from the municipalities, uh, guys, I mean, most of the time, at least in our case, those guys have some procedures that are super important. Okay, that can turn into bureaucracy and it's not nice, but procedures are nice, processes are nice, gives you trust, gives you predictability, and so on. So that's something we learn. Uh, what the public sector can learn from the founders, first of all, is agility, how to move fast, and how to build big things modularly. There's a book that just came out, I think, a couple of months ago, and I saw a friend sharing it. I think it's called How to Build Big Things. And those guys are taking actual case studies from different big projects, infrastructural big projects all over the world, and showed what they've done well. And basically, that was one of the more important ingredients to build agile and not just, okay, let's build this big project for the next 10 years. No, let's take small steps.
Sorry, and I think what founders can learn from Oradea's municipalities that just implement things, not talk about implementing things, implement things.
Yeah. Talk about it, but not just talk about it, because there's this thing that, yeah, we all say, and I think if you ask any politician, any mayor that kind of heard about startup communities and so on, and maybe has some friends that have a friend that's building a startup or has a tech company, they will say that yes, it's super important. We are kind of focusing on that and so on, but no, they are not doing. I mean, they have like that seventh, 18th project on the list. And what they can do is bring that into their strategic development of the local community and of the local economic environment. And make it, okay, I understand that you can't make everything your first priority, but at least bring it up on the top of the list, because it's really, really, really down the list right now. And come on, look at the big, wealthy municipalities in the Western countries. They all have a very strong startup community. So it's not like you reinvent and you are mega risking strategy. You just like, it's not kind of copycat that it shouldn't be, but you already have a lot of precedents. Treat startups like adults. I mean, this is what it's again, it's related with what I already said, but that's the sad thing about it. Many politicians, people that are in the decision at the decision level, they just treat startups like I don't know, some kids with some toys on the, like in the corner of the municipality, and that's it. Treat them like adults, and give them room at the table. And when I say give them room at the table, make sure you hear their voice when it comes to, I don't know, legal, financial, fiscal, uh, infrastructure, education level. Make sure you take into account how things will help impact what they are doing, um, and also listen to how they are doing things. Because again, as you asked, what they can learn from the founders, you can really learn how to lead and how to manage, how to build a municipality using frameworks that startup founders use for building their businesses, processes, tools, and so on.
And going back to the roots, starting in universities, I think it would help a lot. Creating stronger entrepreneurship programs, dedicated labs for students to start something, to build something, even incubation programs in universities. I think it would be great.
Yes, basically it's the model of triple helix. I think many of us heard about it. We need to bring together the private, the public, and the academia. That's where things started to roll and innovation starts to happen for real. It's a yes and no answer, but absolutely yes when it comes to like hands-on involvement, because with all the due respect for the people in public authorities, and I really say it with authentically, I really respect you guys and thank you for all the good things that you are doing, but that's not your playground. So yeah, stay out of it when it comes to hands-on involvement. When it comes to supporting, I mean, you want to have them as your supporters. I mean, they are the ones that can help you, or hopefully not kill you, but anyway, make your life a lot harder. So if you don't have their understanding and their involvement yet and their support, keep them in the loop. I mean, it's like you go for an investor. You want to win their trust. How do you do that? Okay, start a dialogue and start sending some milestone that you want to achieve and your progress on that. And when people will see that you are really doing things and you are really checking the boxes, and you also, and yeah, here one more very important tip for you, for everyone that we learned: use the mass media. I mean, that's super important when it comes to bringing the public administration on your side when you don't have it. I mean, when there's a lot of noise about something, they start to also pay attention, because yeah, it's a lot of FOMO there. But yeah, you start doing things, start communicate about what you're doing, making sure that someone there is seeing your progress. And when you feel that it's the time to go to the next level, make sure you also have a plan. What do you need from them? Because I have a lot of people that are coming to me and they are disappointed that they propose different initiatives to the municipality in Oradea, that is, yeah, super open to initiatives, but they have a lot of people coming to them with different proposals. And like 90% of it don't even have a pitch, a plan on what they want to do. Very like, okay, what's the step 1, 2, 3, 4? What do you need from us? I need your support. Like what? Well, and they don't have a proper answer to that. So again, make a plan, sell it. First, diversity. I mean, Bucharest has a culture of its own. Ardeal and Oradea has a culture of its own. Cluj, Timisoara, Brașov, Iași, and so on. So you'll have a broader diversity, and that's super important, as we all know, when we build startup communities. Again, each city has its advantages. For example, in Cluj-Napoca has a very strong academic sector. On the other hand, Oradea, because didn't have that big companies that came and established there and employed a lot of people, had to learn more entrepreneurial skills and has this entrepreneurial mindset. I'm not saying that Cluj doesn't have that or other cities doesn't have that, but at least in Oradea is more developed per capita, at least. And one more thing I will add, and then I will also let Rebecca to add on this. It's the multiplier effect. When you have 3, 4, 5 pillars that grew, I mean, the effect is like X times faster than just one city doing it. But again, there are dangers. And we can also talk about those dangers later on. But these are some of the things I see as opportunities and positive impact.
I have nothing to add.
Yep.
Let's talk about those dangers.
When it comes to dangers, the biggest one, and this is happening right now, so that's something that we need to kind of manage and mitigate, is reinventing the wheel. Each ecosystem reinventing its wheel. I understand that you need to contextualize what others are doing for your ecosystem, but if all of us are doing kind of the same things, we are innovating on a very slow pace. So that's why I would recommend to make sure that, and I know that another topic on this would be how we can collaborate better. But yes, let's make sure that if we have multiple regions that are having their own startup communities, we know what we are doing, each one of us, collaborate, help each other, and have the humbleness and humility to accept that some people are better at some things than we are. And yes, we also have some abilities and we are good and better at some things than the others and complete each other. Well, each community stakeholders, because each startup community has some stakeholders, they need to do their part. They need to initiate this dialogue and become part of this dialogue. For example, that's why we are here today, because we want to be part of this dialogue and we want to tap into the national uh, um, um, initiatives and ecosystem and so on. That's why, for example, I don't know, a month ago or so, we again came to Bucharest to be part of a roundtable at Impact Hub to again have some discussions for how to grow the national ecosystem. So that's something that we need to tap into and put the effort. If we are just crying about it and say, okay, why Bucharest doesn't help us more? Why, I don't know, another ecosystem talk to us more? Initiate the contact. So first, then I would have a big appreciation here for you guys also, and for example, How to Web, that is doing us an amazing job as bringing us together. There is also other initiatives, but in my opinion, How to Web did amazing job until now, and hopefully they will do it for forever. And I think what we miss very much is a kind of a Romanian agency for our ecosystem that has the authority to coordinate us. I know there are different institutions and initiatives that are trying to build that Romanian kind of Romanian startups .ro, whatever, how you have Startup Estonia and so on, or Startup Greece. But it needs to come from someone in a position of power and authority. So we all can fall behind it and say, okay, we'll support it. And yeah, we'll kind of get into the lines, because otherwise there will be rebels anyway. But I think that's what we are missing right now, and that's why I don't know how great these initiatives are working. It needs to be from the ecosystem. It needs to, I mean, like as I said about this, the ecosystem builders, they need to be founders. They need to understand what's going on. I mean, you can build a startup community in a good manner, in a healthy manner. You can help, but you can't kind of lead it if you don't understand the pains and the troubles and everything that it's involved in building a startup. That helped me a lot. I didn't build a tech startup, but I built companies in the kind of digital sector, and I had all the struggles and everything else. And again, here it's the same. It needs to be someone from people from the ecosystem, but also here I think it should be a kind of a duo between these kind of people and people that has the back of the public sector, the trust of the public sector. That's also something that we see in Oradea, for example. It's very, very important that we have people like our president of the board, Alina, who's, I mean, he's not a political person, but she is the executive director of the municipalities company. Again, it's the city manager Mihai Jurcă that also is one of another champion in the municipality that it's supporting, and because they need to convince their people also. Their people will not trust me, and that's a fact. I mean, that's the way things work.
I think we are focusing on doing
Just startups.
startups and We give all our energy and know-how and all to the founders.
It's also very collaborative, I would say. That's an important aspect, and again, it's something that we are lucky to have it because it's a small ecosystem, at least for now. And when you are like in a company, when it's a small company, everyone is friends with everyone, and it's like a big happy family, and everyone helps everyone, and so on. So, and that's super nice. We don't have, at least yet, that, I don't know, scandals between two founders or investors and the founder or whatever. I'm sure that there will be a moment, and I'm trying, and we are trying to prepare for it when something like this will come up. Hopefully we'll have the maturity and also the trust of the community to mitigate that, and to things keep the people in line and focused on what we are building. Beside that, Romania also has, and this is, I mean, different from other cities. Oradea doesn't have maybe so much tech talent as clearly as, I don't know, Cluj-Napoca or Timisoara or so on. But for example, there are other type of people that are super important for startups, like creative people. We have a very strong community of creative people, designers, product people, marketers, and so on. It's a very strong community in Oradea, and that helps a lot. I think that would be some of the most important aspects that we have different from other communities.
Yeah, and from a more romantic point of view, I think it's very nice for the founders to come in a city where it's not that noisy. You can enjoy a beautiful city and build a startup and meet nice people, and this helps. I mean, the fact that Oradea is a small city helps a lot.
And you also don't have so many distractions.
Yeah.
You can focus on building the startup, and that's it.
Honestly, I didn't see it in founders, this eager to go to Hungary or Vienna to start their startup. I mean, I think once they get to us, they understand they have the support and to build something, and they can do it at home. So I think we can only take advantages of being.
Yeah. Also, we have a more and more close connections. For example, with Budapest, we just came, I think, 2 weeks ago from a conference there in Budapest for ecosystem builders. And yes, I mean, Budapest is a very, very nice city, super connected. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least from my point of view, is more international, way more international than Bucharest, for example. So they have a lot of advantages, but they also have still a lot of struggles of evolving as an ecosystem. I mean, I didn't saw in any like big news or reports a very great advancement when it comes to Hungary, and I don't I'm not happy about it. It's not that's not the point. But coming back to your questions, they kind of don't have a motive to go there, other beside trying to expand into another market. And when it comes to Vienna and Austria, I didn't saw so much interest. I mean, if they are thinking that far, they would maybe think directly on, I know, Germany, France, or even directly UK. First of all, we have to build that mentality into founders. I mean, have a, in my opinion, it helps a lot to have an international first approach and mindset. with exceptions when you can use Romania as a country that validates strongly your solution and your product, but in general, make sure that you are thinking international first. And how we can help them as an ecosystem builder, it is super important to have these collaborations very well established, and we are really working on this pretty hard. We have some sort of success with some other ecosystem. For example, we partnered this year with Startup Wise Guys from Estonia. We are working on partnering with some other similar initiatives in Hungary. But it's super important to, again, know how to sell it, to understand what they need, what we need, what they can offer, what we can offer. And here, very important, please stop giving them IP and talent, especially to UK, US, because they are talent and IP grabbers. I mean, I don't know the percentage, but the majority of startups are fleeing from our country and leaving here just the developers and I don't know, kind of operations team, but the IP is gone. The like top management quality talent is gone, and so on. So let's make sure that we can offer something valuable different than that, because it's super important to understand what we need, what they need, and have that super well established. And that's something. For example, I learned. I had a trip a couple of months ago in Israel, and those guys are like the best in the world, I think, when it comes to selling you something, understanding what you need, knowing what they need, and connect those dots and have a very good win-win situation. Sometimes even a bigger win for them than for you. But yeah, we need to learn that more. We as a ecosystem builders, and initiate that collaboration, but with the mentality also of give before you get. Many times, yes, we are just kind of asking, and that's super important, as I said, to know what we also need, because we need to build. At the end of the day, our mission is to attract resources here, not to like empty the resources we have, because those are super important. So yeah, that would be some of my takes on this. It's different. I mean, just look at the valuations and you'll understand that we are talking about different scales. But I think we still have, and it will not stay for long like this. We still have an opportunity to become at least one of the leading ecosystem in the region, a role model for others, and kind of like a connection hub for other big ecosystem from west to east. Because, for example, if you go southeastern and you go, I don't know, Middle East, Israel, Dubai, and even further on in Singapore and so on, I think we can be a good like stop here in Romania. We have a lot of connections. We have a huge diaspora that we don't use at all. I mean, not at all like zero, but way undervalued and underused. We should use our diaspora way more. So yeah, I think we have some great opportunities. I will not talk about what's not working and how bad are we compared to others. That's not the point. I'm okay. I want to be also realistic and understand our pain points and what we are doing wrong, but we lack very much the optimism and that collaborative support, even at the level of like, don't stop crying about it and do something about it. That will act very, very much. But I think it's changing, and I think we can do way better things just by changing more this. Because if you go west, yeah, people there are selling you dreams and they know how to do it. So we are trying to selling, I don't know, facts, and people are not buying it and just giving you like, come on, this is so the crap, don't do it, you'll fail, and you know all the encouragement that the founders get. That thing with communism, I just keep hearing, and I hope we are not like, okay, this is who we are, we were communists, blah 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 blah. Come on, stop, let's stop doing that again. And I also thought that it's something that, I mean, Romanians are the winners when it comes to crying about things and not encouraging others, but dragging them down and so on, until 3 weeks ago when we went to Budapest at the conference that I mentioned, and they were mentioning exactly the same things. And I told them that, okay, guys, I'm kind of happy, but also crying. I'm happy that we are not the only ones. I'm crying because now we are at least two countries that have the same problem. And I think that's the one of the main reason why Eastern Europe is Eastern Europe, and we have this divide between Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Just go west and you'll see the difference. So unfortunately, or happily, I don't know how you want to say it, it's not something that only we Romanians have. It's a broader virus. It's a pandemic in the Eastern Europe. So let's help each other, at least as countries, to get rid of it. And yeah,
And in the end, Estonia was under communism and they just
yeah,
bloomed in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't say yes. It was a very entrepreneurial like initiative, and it started from a discussion between a representative of the public sector and a representative of private sector, and they were like, okay, how we can grow the IT sector in Oradea. And it was fortunate that the public sector met with a guy that had not a kind of service company, but a product company. And his answer was, let's build more startups in Oradea. And the municipality said, okay, how do we do that? And he just said, let's give people some money to start building stuff. So that was the inception of the project, and from there, yeah, things we started to learn by doing, but very, I mean, we did a very deep learning and trying to understand what's working and what not, and how we can bring what others are doing into our ecosystem. And we didn't. That's a thing that, uh, looking back, I think it was very important not to look outside first, but look inside first and look what we need first, and then find solutions for what we need, not looking for a solution before understanding exactly what we need. So that was the way things evolved and worked. There were like verticals that were trendy at some point. Now are some that are trendy and will not be trendy in, I don't know, a year, two, three. At least from what we saw in Oradea, the like the know-how that we have is around SaaS. Most of the product companies that we have there established, some of them with 7 figures a month as a monthly recurring revenue, are SaaS companies. So we are trying to build on that. and double down on that. But also, for example, the program that Rebecca mentioned, Bright Labs Incubator, is industry agnostic because the community is super small, and yeah, we are open for other verticals. Fintech, it's coming up a lot, and this happens in the last couple of years. It's not new. That's why we also have partnered with the Unchained Festival. Um, Beside that, yeah, recently a lot of marketplaces everywhere. I think that's not just in Oradea, but everywhere. Unfortunately, most of them superficial and not very well researched. But I think that also tells us a bit where things will move in the future, because yes, interactions between different actors are super undigitalized yet, and yeah, we need to figure out business models on how to make that work, and so on. But these are kind of the major things that we observe. I will focus on the national level, and I will let Rebecca to make some bets about Oradea. When it comes to the national level or regional level, I think it's going well. Um, I don't want to cry about it. I want to appreciate everything that people are doing, and yes, there are things that we can do way better, but I think we evolved a lot in the last years, and we also build some foundational work that is not yet seen, but it will be seen in the next, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 years, and hopefully will help us grow exponentially from that point. Because yes, we are missing some opportunities, and we should try to do everything we can in order to accelerate this development in the following years. Otherwise, we are losing ground. And for example, if you look at the statistics for the last 12, 24 months, Romania at least slowed down a bit. We didn't went down very much, but at least there is a plateau in the last 12 to 24 months. So yeah, we need to accelerate, but I think we also did some foundational work that will enable this accelerated growth in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, for Oradea, I think, I mean, we have a lot of energy to make things happen in the future. Since I entered the ecosystem, I mean, it was the beginning of everything, kind of. So of course we evolved from year to year. We, as David said, we are still learning a lot and kind of validating new solutions for our founders. And I think for the next years will become, I mean, already it's already becoming more interesting for Romanian founders, but also from what I saw this year in our preselection stage for other SE founders. Yeah.
And we have a very clear goal. We want 100 startups in Oradea until 2014. So that's on our website. That's public. We'll update on how things are working, which are, yeah, from our perspective, things are looking good. And well, the one thing I see in Oradea, and I'm very, very happy about it, is that people start to believe that we can do it. In the beginning, as I mentioned, everyone thought that this is mission impossible and we are crazy. I think, yes, we still are kind of crazy, and we need to be. I mean, this is a trait of people that are doing such things. But that's super nice. I mean, I see people, I see founders, I see existing entrepreneurs, that people that had startups in the ecosystem before we started, and now they are taking things seriously. They are educating themselves, that they are scaling their startups. They are more open-minded and so on, and believing in this common mission and goal.
And I think the startup life can be tricky and can become dangerous for founders. And I hope founders will feel that in Oradea they can have a healthy startup life.
Yep. I will put it as we had it in our latest podcast with Valentin Filip from Fortec Investments. This was like the theme of the podcast. It was ne descurcăm. So this is the most amazing and super valuable trait that we as Romanians have. I mean, we as Romanians ne descurcăm. We are working it out, man. Something broke, some tape, a bit of, I don't know, sârmă, and everything's going to work out, no problem. We had like the most dramatic meetup yesterday. We had a very big storm in Oradea. I mean, all the city is looking like, I mean, the city already looked like someone bombed it because the municipality is doing 1,000 infrastructure projects at the same time in Oradea since the beginning of the year. But with the storm from yesterday, the view became even
More apocalyptic.
yeah, more apocalyptic than before. So we had the meetup. 1 hour before the meetup, we had the 15-minute storm that, like, the wind was, I don't know, 100 kilometers per hour. Tiles from rooftops were flying, and so on. And the electricity stopped. We were like, okay, how many people will come to the meetup and so on. In the end, we worked it out. I mean, ne-am descurcat. So yeah, this is the trait that we have, and yeah, this, I know it's a funny one, but I think it's also a very valuable one when you build a startup, because you have to be super agile and keeping all the balls in your hands and work it out with the investors, the product, the team, the partners, the clients, and everything else. And also the diaspora. Again, I will mention the diaspora again. Super valuable. Unfortunately, we are not using it as we should. That's also because, and I know that you are also a news and media company, and congrats for all the great work and great news and positive news that you are bringing to us. But unfortunately, the majority, if you look in the mainstream media in Romania, it's just Romania is not good. The streets are broke. The internet is not working anymore. Anyway, and so on. So all the bad news that projects different Romania to the diaspora. I mean, I had this experience a couple of months ago when I think my wife spoke with someone on the train station. They were coming from Austria or something like that. They were Romanian. They've never been to Romania since, I don't know, 7 years ago. They knew politics and what's not working in Romania better than we did. And we were like, man, we are living here. It's not like that. It's way better. So that's a very big issue that we have. I mean, the bad branding that the mainstream media it's pushing, it's is not helping a lot.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I think a few months ago, I met by chance a guy from San Francisco that was in Romania because he has Romanian roots, but he never been to Romania before, and he was so impressed. He told us that he wants to move to Romania maybe, even if he has a great job in San Francisco. Again, as I said, he don't like anymore the noise of the city, and he was very impressed to find out that things are happening in the startup ecosystem in the entire Romania.
Yeah, I also have a lot of relatives that, for example, I have a cousin that's a businessman in Canada, and when he came into Romania a year ago or something like that, when he saw how the country looks and the city and Oradea and Cluj and even southern Romania, and I talked also from an economic perspective, fiscal perspective, all the incentives for building a company, the taxes that we have. Come on, guys, Romania is like a heaven when it comes to taxes. For real, I mean, for real. He said, man, I don't understand why people are still moving from Romania. I mean, for example, in Canada, when it comes to taxes, I mean, that guys take 60, 70, 80% of your profits. So yeah, let's change that.
This is another good thing that municipality is doing, promoting and marketing the city.
Let's have a visit Romania. I mean, I know we have kind of a visit Romania, but it's not doing a lot of work. I mean, I would like to have a visit Romania that is doing at least what Visit Oradea is doing. Congrats to them. And maybe kind of a move to Romania. I've started to be advertised on Facebook by, I think it's Move to Denmark or something like that. And it's an agency of the government of Denmark that it's paying those ads to target me as a founder in Romania to move to Denmark. Why are we not doing that? At least for our diaspora. Let's not steal other nationalities, but at least bring our people home. So sorry if we went a bit astray from your question, but something that we are recently pretty passionate about, because we need talent in Romania, and that's a very big problem that we have. The brain drain, it's killing us, and we need to stop it, and we need to reverse it. If you want to really make an impact, come back to Romania. You have the resources, you have the support, you have the opportunity to make an impact. I mean, if you stay in, I don't know, London, Berlin, I don't know, Denmark, US, Silicon Valley, New York, you are just like getting lost between the numbers. In Romania, with your know-how, with your experience, with your connections there, I mean, you can do like crazy stuff here. And people, we might build you a statue at the end of your life if you are looking for that. I don't know if you are looking for that, but I think impact is super important, and that meaningful work and meaningful efforts, not just, I know, the money, driving a great car, having luxurious vacations. At the end of the day, I just listened to a podcast with Radu Georgescu, and it was interviewed with the recursive guys, and he, at the end, they asked him, why is he still working? He's not, I don't know, on a beach somewhere. I mean, he has all the money he needs, all the businesses he wanted to build, he built, and so on. And he was super passionate. He was like, what? I mean, come on, guys, this is fun for me. This brings me meaning. This brings me changing the world, having the opportunity to change the world, to make an impact. That keeps me up at night in a good way and making me wake up with a purpose and do stuff. So yeah, if you wanna have that kind of impact and meaning, Romania is a very good place to come to and use your skills, use your talents, use your connections, and so on.
And this is what pushes us
Yep.
to do the extra mile. And it's very, I'm very happy to see other communities in Romania doing the same thing, and we have a very good connection with these communities, exactly for the fact that we are all very passionate and understand the mission.
naming is for me something.
Yeah.
I have a strong background in marketing. So when it comes to branding and naming,
We have focus groups and we have some
Yes.
friends from branding. Yeah.
It's never easy. It's never easy. I like very much a book. I read it like 7 years ago or something like that. It's wrote by Aneta Bogdan from Brandiant, one of the biggest branding agencies in Romania. They were doing the branding for Banca Transilvania, for EMAG, and so on. And she has a book called Branding on the Eastern Front. And I really loved both the book and the naming. I mean, she's a brand strategist, so yeah. And when I saw the question, I went back to that title and I changed it a bit. I don't know if Aneta has a problem of you using part of that title, but I think Innovators on the Eastern Front will be something that sounds pretty interesting and something that people would be intrigued by. Because basically that's what you want to do with the title, when we need to intrigue people to look out for more.